because you don't know whether that's a sunset or a sunrise, right? And so, the sun has set on something that we were involved in called Optavia, and it's gone off the horizon. It's never to come back. It's gone. It was great. We had a lot of victories with that. But what's rising now is Trilivy, the star of Trilivy. And our opportunity today has never been greater than it is right now. I've been involved with this with Dr. A since the very beginning. And he talked today about a threshold of starting a business and what we looked like, what we wanted to create. And from my point of view, the opportunity ahead, what we have in our hands right now, has never been greater, because we're moving into a new era of growth, a new era of opportunity in terms of metabolic health and what that represents. When you look at the global metabolic market, in the next 10 years, it's projected to be somewhere around $300 to $500 billion worldwide. It's enormous. It's an emerging, as people are finding more and more about it, it's becoming a big thing. And we are perfectly positioned. You guys in this room are perfectly positioned with the science, with the company, with the background, with all the credibility that we have, and with your talent to really take this to the next level. And so what I want to say to you is, everybody in here, like Doug said this morning, we're all starting on the same starting line. This is brand new, and one of the things that I think would be informative for people is to really embrace this new identity of Trilivy. In fact, if you're going to move forward in this new mission that we have, in this new era that we have to jettison the past, and we have to look at the future. So we're all starting on the same starting line, and we have first mover advantage over everybody else. And I don't know if you really understand how big the opportunity is in front of you. We talk about the trilogy, healthy body, mind, and finances, right? And we've spent a lot of time already today and last night talking about the health aspect. And Catherine just talked about the financial aspect and having options, right? But when you look across the United States and you look at the way people live, 2/3 of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. 2/3 of them do. 37% of Americans, if they had a $400 emergency, they don't have enough money to cover that. 54% of Americans lack 3 months. In other words, if their income was to cease for 3 months, they would be near financial jeopardy. And 65% of Americans don't have enough saved up for retirement. Do you think there's a need for us? I mean, really, do you think there's a need for us? There's so many people that are struggling today, and we know we have the goods, right? We have the goods. There are very few things in life that can have the kind of impact and the kind of income and the kind of legacy that you have here. There are very few things, there are very few opportunities that will come across your path in your life that could dramatically change not only your life, but the lives of other people. See, one of the wonderful things about our business, because of the way it scales, is that you don't know where your fingerprints are going to touch. You don't know what kind of legacy that you're going to leave. And, the more you reach out, the more you help me, because it's not you, it's generations from you in the way that this grows. And there's people right now that are struggling with their health, they're struggling with their mental health, they're struggling with their finances. You don't even know them. But you know what? They're going to come into your life because you decided to do this. Because the power of this business has so much reach and so much power. And most of us, I wouldn't say me, because I understand this, and so do a lot of your leaders understand this. But a lot of coaches really don't understand the power of exponential growth and what that can mean. So when we started years ago, we wanted to create a blue ocean strategy in this business. I want to talk to you a little bit about this model of our business. And what we wanted to create was a professional coaching service. And that's actually how we started. We really relied on the science when we started this 20-some years ago. But over time, we kind of got away from that. And aren't you guys excited about the fact that we're undergirded by all of this quality science and all these clinical studies and all this stuff that, so the model itself is unlike anything else out there. It's unique, it's transformational, and we set out to create a new model of business, and we incorporated successful elements from other kinds of businesses, right? And when you look at that, our compensation model is also unique. And as I said, people try to put us in a box, right? They try to define us. And, we looked at a lot of different businesses in the creation of this that actually came in together to develop this new unique opportunity, this unique business model. So we took from the financial services business, healthcare, online marketing, direct sales. We could a variety of different types of things to create this. And sometimes people say, well, are you guys a network marketing company? We don't operate at all like a network marketing company. We are a professional coaching service. We have a multi-tiered compensation plan, but that's just the way that you reward independent contractors for their efforts based on their skills, based on how hard they work and the results that they get. And one of the things that you see that's happening within Trilivy is kind of an upgrade. Are you feeling the upgrade? The fact that, we're moving more towards a professional coaching service. That doesn't mean being stuffy or too sophisticated. But what it means is having a reverence and a respect for what we have. It's not a side hustle, okay? Because this business has incredible impact. Now, there's some special characteristics about our business model that other companies don't have. For example, you're always the client of your sponsor. Even when you become a coach, there's no wholesale buying in our business, there's no inventory. 90% of the revenue that's generated in our business is through end-user consumers. We don't inflate prices to support a compensation plan, and we don't have an auto ship requirement for people to earn bonuses. This is a real business. The philosophy behind this compensation plan was to pay people who do the work what they're worth, right? So if you're an entrepreneur, you like that because, in most things, there's an income floor and an income ceiling. Even if you work for yourself, you run out of time. If you work for somebody else, they determine what that's going to be. In an opportunity, there's no guarantees. There's no income floor. But there's also no income ceiling. You get to look at the boss every day in the mirror and you can ask yourself for a raise. Because you get to control that. I like that. I've always been an entrepreneur. And, the way that we've scaled this and created this was to help people, to get engaged. They can earn really good part-time income. They can move into a full-time income. And they also have greater financial opportunities when you understand the way that this scales, okay? Because we scale our business through a duplication model. Now, if you look at conventional businesses that everybody's familiar with, right? Let's take somebody that's a fitness professional, that is a personal trainer. Let's say that person gets their certifications, they decide that they're going to be a personal trainer. What do? They put up a shingle and they start acquiring clients, right? And they start helping those clients on their health journey. Well, there's only so many clients that you can, if you're a personal trainer, that you can support because you just run out of time. So if you want to have a bigger impact, if you want to make more money, what do? Well, you probably would start a small gym, fitness center, and maybe you would work with other personal trainers and have a fee relationship with them. And so now not only are you doing the work as a personal trainer, but you're running a different kind of business, so it requires a different competency. And if that business gets big enough, and you become successful enough, and if your ambition is to say, I want to reach more people, I want to make more money, what can you do? You could start another one in another part of town or another town, and before you know it, you start that duplication model. We could run that through all kinds of businesses. So if you look, for example, in the restaurant business, I remember Mary and I were in Poland once. We were in Krakow, Poland, and we ate at a restaurant that had been serving continuously since the 1300s. Wow. They had one outlet. right? And down the street was a McDonald's.
Oh, wow.
So, Ray Kroc, they're sort of kind of the nemesis, right? McDonald's. But Ray Kroc, that business model, he started with one. Fred DeLuca, who started Subway, started with one. And if you owned one, you could make a living. However, if you owned a bunch of them, if you had multiple distribution outlets, you could create an incredible financial opportunity for yourself. And Ray Kroc used to say, I'm not in the restaurant business, I'm in the restaurant expansion business. So one of the things that you look at in our business is that we duplicate successful coaches. And our duplication model is a coach that has 5 to 50 clients. And the sweet spot's over 20, but 5 to 50, and we duplicate that over and over. So if you start out in your business, you can start out as what I call a standalone business, where you are serving people as a coach, and you're bringing on board clients, and you're making money, and you're making an impact in those people's lives. And if that's what you want to do, that's wonderful, right? If you're a healthcare professional, that's the way a lot of healthcare professionals start out in our business, because they see this as something they can add to the services that their practice offers. But the real bigger play in our business is to do that and also expand with other coaches. And for us to really reach the mission of what we're trying to do, we need an army of coaches. We need more coaches, folks. And hopefully coming out of the blocks out of this event, that you guys are going to be so fired up that you're going to go on a sponsoring sponsoring madness, right? And I hope that you're committed to doing that, because that's where the bigger play is. One way we can look at it, just from the standpoint of a graphic, is when you start out in our business, you can make short-term income right out of the gate, especially with the impact multiplier, right? But again, as a coach, you're limited by your time. There's only so many clients that you can support. So if you're also involved in developing coaches, your opportunity grows to have more impact and earn more money. I don't know why they took my curve and made it go flat. It doesn't go flat, okay? But if you overlay them, that's what it looks like, right? So what I'm announcing today is something that we've put into place, started about October of last year. Shortly after the scientific symposium, the company called me, and I started working with Sean Flynn, and I started working, oh my gosh, I just had a senior moment. I can't believe I'm having a senior moment on stage. I don't need to have one. Jeff Crozier, thank you, came to my house, and we said, the idea was, what can we do to enhance our current comp plan? What can we do? And sometimes when people hear about enhancing a comp plan, they freak out because they think, oh boy, they're going to move my cheese. They're going to take money away from me. Uh-oh, I better put the armor on, right? And one of the things you understand is this is not a dramatic change to what you're familiar with. Everything here is going to be familiar, but everything here is going to be easier. It's going to be easier for you to understand. So we had some objectives that we wanted to accomplish, and Trilivy is all about threes, right? Trilivy. Create a plan that aligns with our model as a professional coaching service. Create simplicity by making it easier to understand and easier to teach. How would you like to be able to understand the comp plan easier than teaching it? Well, you're not going to, no, sorry. We're going to drive productivity, reduce inefficiencies by paying more to the people who are doing work. Okay? So people that are doing the work are going to earn more, but we're maintaining the same percentage of payout to the field. In fact, in the modeling that was done, we actually paying slightly more. Okay? So here, how do we create the simplicity? Well, we create it by reducing the total number of ways that somebody is paid. And what we've done is we've consolidated and allocated those resources, that money, those percentages, to other methods of compensation. You'll see that, it's not hard. We're eliminating, some of you are going to love this, we're eliminating hard to understand concepts like integration. Right? You know, the integrated compensation plan, integration is gone, there's no more integrated comp plan. I thought I'd get a bigger applause on that one. And things like FIBC and consistency bonuses, elite leadership bonuses, those are all combined in a simpler way for you to understand. And we're reducing the number of ranks in the plan for simplicity. And also so that it's easy to understand what those ranks represent. Okay? So here's 3 takeaways on what's happening in this plan. Number 1, reward productivity by creating more profitability for those doing the work. Number 2, give greater incentive to successfully start new coaches. Get new coaches out of the gate really quickly and financially earning money right out of the gate. And then number 3, creating stronger focus on developing executive directors. Those are 3 things that we're focused on. So, in our comp plan, we get paid to do 3 things. You all know that. There's this competency of being a health coach where we get paid to acquire and support and love our clients, right? Then we also get paid to bring on board new coaches and help them get started. And that's a business coach competency, and we get paid on coaches, on the revenues coaches create, who are not yet executive directors. And by the way, you don't make any money for sponsoring a coach, okay? You only make money if you help that new coach become successful. How do they become successful? By helping people get involved on our program and start getting healthier. So this plan is all around a win-win-win philosophy. And your coach never pays you, the company pays you to support that coach. And then the third competency has to do with leadership, creating teams of executive directors. So one way to look at the comp plan is this way, is that if you're new, you want to run to senior coach right out the gate. You want to hit executive director as soon as possible, and then you want to develop teams of executive directors. So just, again, it's all in 3s. It's really, really simple. So, in the plan, the way the plan pays is there's a front end of the plan, there's a middle part of the plan, and there's the back end of the plan. And it rewards those 3 things that I talked about. First one's client acquisition, second one's coach acquisition, and third one's building teams of EDs. So another way of looking at it is you get involved, you share the program, share the business, you expand by bringing on board other coaches, and then you multiply. You put into effect the exponential aspect of our business model. So here we're going to go through each one of the 3. Now, just stay with me because it's actually so simple. This is so much simpler than the old plan, I got to tell you. All right, so we're going to focus now on the front end of the plan. This is the money that the company pays you for acquiring and coaching clients. A couple things just for those of you that are new. Every product has 3 numbers associated with it. There's the retail price. The retail price is what the consumer pays for the product. The retail price will go up or down with inflation. Then there's a compensation volume called CV. That's the money that you get paid on. So the compensation volume floats with the retail price. And then there's a qualifying volume, which is a fixed number. So for example, it takes about 17 clients to become an executive director right now. 10 years from now, it'll still take 17 clients to become an executive director. But what you get paid on will be greater because you get paid on CV, not on QB, all right? And then whenever we put a F or a G in front of it, it just means frontline, means the people you're personally responsible for, and GB means group volume, okay? So let's take a look. That looks like a good couple of sponsors right there. All right. So there are 4 ways in the front of the plan that you get paid on. New Coach Accelerator bonus, client support commissions that are paid weekly. That's WEEK. You know why? Client support bonuses and client support bonus plus, okay? So what we've done is we've embedded into the comp plan now the Coach Accelerator bonus. Okay, it's no longer an incentive, it's in the plan. Okay? And so, you know, by the way, it's a match, you'll see the matching on the other side, in the middle bucket. But for a new coach, you want to get your new coach started right away. Help them generate their list, create some goals, and get in action right away, because when they develop 5 clients within their first 3 calendar months, they get $500. When they develop 10, they double that, another $1,000, and when they develop 15, they double that, another $2,000 for a brand new coach. In their first 3 calendar months, they can earn $3,500 in addition to their normal compensation. That's in the plan now. Okay, now, the weekly commissions, client support commissions are paid weekly. It's 10%, it's the way it is right now. So when a client places an order, a week later, you're going to get 10% of that order. Okay? Client support bonuses have changed slightly. You're going to like the way they've changed because they've gotten bigger. Okay? So, now one of the things you're going to notice is that the threshold is no longer $1,200. It's $1,500. Okay, it's $1,500, and there are fewer brackets. But whenever it's $1,500 in 5 ordering entities, when you do that, you're making, you're actually doubling your client support commission, right? Because you're going to get a client support bonus of 10%. And then for every 1,500 increment, it goes up 5%. So the maximum that you can earn is 25%. And when we combine client support commissions that are paid weekly and client support bonuses that are paid monthly, the maximum is 35%. Okay? Now, currently, in the Optavia plan, it's 28%, so that's a pretty big raise. Remember I said we're focusing on profitability, creating more executive directors. And so all along the way, you say, well, I'm only at $1,200, I'm not going to get my bonus. Well, then you have to take it up to $1,500. It's like, hello, you want a raise? Look in the mirror. Okay? Now, I know some of you are going to like that, but the people that are producing are going to love it. Okay? Now, so then we also have Client Support Bonus Plus, which has been an incentive, a program that the company's been running periodically, right? This is now embedded in the comp plan. Okay? So when you have 5 to 9 new clients in a month, in addition to everything else, you get another 5% on your business. And then when you have 10 or more, that should say, yeah, that's frontline compensation volume. And then when you have 10 or more, it's 10%. So let's look at what is maximum that you can earn is 45%. Okay, 45%. Hello? I told you it's simple, it's very easy, right? It's very easy. So, let's look at that in scenarios. So, on the left side, that's an ED that's running 6,000 in frontline qualified volume, 6,200 in CD, right? Doesn't have 5 or more new clients. But that, at 6,000, that means the minimum that somebody's going to earn is about $2,200. If that same person brought in 5 clients that month, it would be about $2,500. If they brought in 10, it would be about $2,800. And if they were running 10,000 a month, it would be $3,600, $4,100 with 5, and $4,650 with 10. And if they were running 15,000, okay, it's a big raise, folks. It's a big raise. Okay. Now, just real quickly, one of my notes. How many people in here are already, or have already executive directors? Just raise your hand. Just look around the room, folks. So for those of you that are new, this is not an unusual situation in a professional coaching service. So real quickly, I've got to run here. There's 4 ways to earn. You qualify, coach has to have 1,500 now instead of 1,200. New coach can earn 3,500 in their first 3 months, and the maximum percentage is 45%. So let's look at the second way, which is on your career path for compensation. Remember I said that you want to start as a senior coach, run to ED, build teams of EDs. So there's a bigger emphasis on this rank of ED. Okay, so we're going to get into the middle of the plan real quick. This is the compensation that you earn for sponsoring and mentoring coaches up until they become executive directors, right? So, we recognize, or hopefully you recognize, that the power of this compensation plan is in its ability to scale, in the duplication model, right? So if you are in business for yourself and you're part-time and you put 10 hours a week in your business, at the end of the week you have 10 hours invested in your business. But if you sponsor 10 coaches on your team, and they each put in 10 hours, now you have 110 hours. And if you had 100 coaches on your team, it would be 1,010 hours. And if you had 1,000 coaches on your team, your business is open over 10,000 hours a week. That's the concept of duplication. So when we talk about team building, there's the middle and the back end of the plan. The middle has to do with business coach compensation, and the back end has to do with business leader compensation. So this is the middle of the plan right here. There are 3 bonuses that we get paid in the middle of the plan. There's the accelerator assist bonus, okay? And by the way, I'm sorry, accelerators, I'll get to them. But a couple definitions for you. So rank requirements now, if you're under 1,500, and you have less than 5 clients, you're called an apprentice coach. Because we feel that in a professional coaching service, people kind of have their training wheels on until they have at least 5 clients, okay? And then senior coach is more than 1,500, okay? An executive director is, you have to have, this is a change. Executive directors need to be running frontline volume of 4,500 in frontline volume, okay? And have at least 6,000 in group volume. Now, when we did all of the, I didn't do it, these guys did it, Sean and Jeff, we noticed that about 95 or 98% of the people that go ED always have over 4,500. And if you are setting an example, that's something that you have a robust client business of at least that much, right? Okay, now, so you have the accelerator assist bonus. So accelerator assist bonus is your impact multiplier. It's the matching bonus when you bring on a new coach and you help that new coach bring on 5 new clients, they get paid 500 and the company pays you 500. And when they bring on 10, they get another 1,000 and you get another 1,000. And when they bring on 15, they get 2,000 and you get 2,000. And what that should tell you is that every single brand new coach that you get involved in, remember, they have a sphere of influence. You have the knowledge. You want to make sure you dive in right out of the gate to make sure that they are learning the business. Okay, because about a new coach has about a 30 to 90 day window to be productive. If they're not productive in the first 90 days, they usually don't last. So this plan is really highly incentivizes them to become successful out of the gate. And when you help them develop 15, that's not far from 20 to get to ED. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Are you excited about that? Okay, good. All right. Now, this is a different bonus, okay? Everybody used to get messed up with the, what we used to call it, I don't remember what we called it. I wrote it, but I don't remember what it was. This is called the Team Builder Monthly Bonus. To qualify, you have to be a senior coach. You have to have 1,500. And when you have 1,500, you're going to earn 3% on every coach business that you have that's not an ED. And if you're an ED, you're going to earn 4%, so it just looks like this. You're a senior coach, you have let's say you have an $800 group, you got a $1,600 group, you got a $3,200 group, you're gonna earn 3% on those revenues. If you're an ED, it's 4%. Is that hard? It's pretty easy, right?
Yep.
Easier than, I usually lost people when I started talking about the middle of the plan in the old plan, right? This is simple to understand. And then, of course, now we have the rank advancement bonuses that are now permanently part of the comp plan. Okay? So to earn a rank, you have to be at that rank for 3 months in a row. And so when you're at 3 months in a row, as an ED, you get a one-time bonus of $2,000. That's the middle of the plan, okay? That's the middle. All right, now, so here's your takeaways on the middle. There's 3 ways to earn. You can earn up to $3,500 when you bring on a coach and help them earn that $3,500. The new team builder bonus kicks in when you are a senior coach, and you earn 3% of any team that you have that's not yet ED. Or if you're an ED, you earn 4%. To be an ED, you have to have 4,500 in frontline volume and a total of 6,000 in group volume. They don't have to be senior coach legs, by the way. There's no more integration. So you could be 4,500 and you could have a group at 750, another group at 750, you're an ED, okay? All right, and ED rank advancement bonus or 3-month qualification. All right, now we get to the last part, which is the exciting part. And I gotta run through this because I'm over time. All right, now, the back end of the comp plan, this is where the wallop is in our business. There's 2 ways you make money here. ED generation bonuses, which you are familiar with, and then there's leadership rank advancement bonuses that are now part of the permanent plan. Okay? So, couple new ranks. So we already talked about ED is 4,500 and a group volume of 6,000. You can do the whole 6,000 yourself. But to every rank, to qualify at every rank, you have to run 4,500 in frontline volume. But you'll notice there, when you're an ED with 1 ED, you're a regional, but when you're an ED with 2 EDs, you're now called a senior regional director. Okay? When you have 3 to 4 EDs, you're a national. When you have 5 to 6 EDs, you're a global. And notice there's a new rank here called senior global director, which means you have 7 to 9 EDs, because there was a big gap between 5 and 10. And the presidential director is 10 or more. So how does this manifest? Well, essentially have you noticed, this is the generation bonus. You notice they're a little bit bigger? Hello? They used to be, you start at 2.5%, it's 4%, guys. 4%. And you notice that if you're an ED with 2 EDs, you get paid 2 generations down. A national gets paid 3 generations down. A global gets paid 4, like they do now, but just the percentages are bigger. A senior global gets paid 5 generations down. Right now, if you have 7 EDs, you don't see that. And then a presidential director gets paid 6 generations down. Now also, anytime you hit a rank 3 months in a row, for the first time, we have now embedded the rank advancement bonus, right? Okay? Are you excited about that?
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and so if you're not an ED, every one of the, I should have added them all up, but those are all available to you in bonuses as you move up through the comp plan. Okay. So here's what that looks like. So those of you that don't understand compounding and you don't understand exponential growth, this diagram is going to show it to you. Now, obviously, this is not a guarantee, it's not a promise, because it's based on you and what you do and who you work with. But let's say you are an ED, and you're running 10,000 in frontline volume, you have 5 senior coach legs, and you have 5 non-senior coach legs, and you're earning about $6,000 a month. And let's say you're running about $17,000 in group volume, which is about the average group volume for an ED, okay? Let's say you sponsor 6 people, you keep maintaining that business that I just showed you, and then you sponsor 6 people. At the end of that year, if that's where you were at the end of the year, you're at $10,000 a month. It's over $100,000 a year. And if those each sponsor 2, at the end of the next year, you're at $18,000 a month. And if those 2 each bring on board 2, That's $29,000 a month. And in year 4, if they each bring on one, that's $40,000. That's $500,000 a year. So, all right. So just suspend all your thoughts right now, and just ask yourself this one question: could I find 6 people that would like to make a minimum of $2,500 to $3,000 a month? Could you find 6 people that could do that? And from that, do you think you could find in all of America 66 people? Why not? Why not? See, the plan is agnostic. Doesn't matter where you're from, who you are, where you're from, what your background is. It's the same for all of us. We all have the same compensation plan. And you're going to be learning some things as we move forward today and tomorrow on some enhancements to how you're going to build your business in terms of the training. So the key takeaways in the back of the plan are this, okay? There's 2 ways to earn. There's 2 new leadership ranks. There's a generation bonus, percentages that have increased in each generation. You have rank advancement bonuses that are tied to your recognition for 3 months. They're permanent in the plan now. And executive directors need to run a minimum of 4,500 every month and 6,000 group one to qualify. So when is this going to take place? Okay, it takes place on August 1st. This plan goes into effect. Now, if you're an ED and you're qualifying currently under the point system, and you're not at 4,500, you've got a couple months to ramp your business up to 4,500. So in August and September, the company's going to pay you whichever you're higher, whichever way you qualify. But in October, you're going to need to have that 4,500 in frontline volume. Okay, where are you going to find out information? On the enhanced compensation plan, along with FAQs, it will be, it's called now Coach Support Headquarters. It used to be called Coach Answers. So as I wrap it up here today, and I look at all you wonderful people who've taken the time and energy, it's really an honor to be here today with you, by the way, to be part of this mission, to understand the impact that we can have in people's lives. And all of this comes from our own orientation. And there's been a lot of talk, Kristen's talk this morning, about the stories we tell ourselves. And my question to you is, why not you? Why not you? What makes you different? What would prevent you? Most people don't have the kind of opportunity in life that this business and this means of being paid give you. And when we're younger, we start out with dreams, right? We have our dreams, and something happens to us as we get older, and life has a way of doing things, and we start to limit those dreams, limit the size of our thinking, and we turn our dreamer off. And I'm going to say to you today, don't turn your dreamer off. Okay, don't turn it off. Because there are people in this room, you're going to have lives like you can't imagine. And you're going to impact people, not just in terms of this business, healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances. And not just because we're not only going to be here, but we're going to be in other parts of the world. Okay? You're going to impact lives in your community, in your church, in the things that matter most to you, in the relationships that you have with your family and your friends, and the kind of experiences that you have. If you allow yourself to dream big dreams, because when the dream's big enough, the facts don't count. When you know why, you'll figure out how. You have in your hands, an incredible vehicle that can change your stars. And my wish for you is that you take advantage of it. Thank you.